of money for that stuff back there, but y'all, we got 15 years out of it. Say amen, y'all. And so we thank God for that. Now let me talk to y'all. I'm not going to keep you long. The gospel as recorded by Luke chapter number 7, and I'd like to begin reading at verse number 11, and it's really the latter part of the verse 17 that I want to get at, but I'm going to read 11 through 17. That's the gospel as recorded by St. Luke chapter number 7, beginning at verse number 11. This is from the New American Standard translation of the Bible. Listen attentively. Soon afterwards, he went to a city called Nain, and his disciples were going along with him, accompanied by a large crowd. Now as he approached the gate of the city, a dead man was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And a sizable crowd from the city was with her. When the Lord saw her, he felt compassion for her and said to her, "Do not weep." He came up and he touched the coffin. The King James translation of this text says the bier, B-I-E-R. But he touched the coffin, and the bearers came to a halt. And he said, "Young man, I say to you, arise." And the dead man sat up and began to speak. And Jesus gave him back to his mother. Fear gripped them all, and they began glorifying God, saying, "A great prophet has arisen among us, and God has visited his people." This report concerning him went out all over Judea and in all the surrounding districts. This is the word of the Lord. I want to beg your indulgence for just a few moments while I raise with you a question. And as I raise this question, brothers, I'm going to keep in mind what most homileticians will teach you. And that is, don't raise a question as a subject and sit down and not answer the question. I want to ask y'all a question. And if I'm going to pose a question to all of us, by the time I finish, you got to help me to answer it. And Don is going to close it out by reminding all of us about the story we have. The text says, this report. What report? The report is in verse 16, that a great prophet has risen among us, and God has visited his people. This report concerning him went out everywhere. I want to raise a question with you today and ask you this question: have you told anybody yet? Have you told anybody, and I tacked on the end, yet? Now, this passage of scripture opens in the beginning of the chapter where Jesus has been summoned to a centurion's house. This centurion is so concerned about his spiritual condition until he gets word to Jesus that you don't have to come to my house, but just speak the word. The early part of this chapter is there to remind us that distance is no problem for Jesus. It does not matter whether your family member or that person who's in need of prayer, is it here in Alabama, whether they're in California, whether they are in Ohio, Michigan, distance is no problem for the Lord. Because you do know the Lord can hear us pray right here, 2900 Avenue G, and answer us in another state. That man shows us that distance is no problem for Jesus. But as he leaves, that's where, are y'all going to help me with this? That's where verse number 11 opens by saying soon afterwards. The King James Version, I believe, has it the next day. So you do know right after Jesus deals with this man's servant, this high-ranking official, he heads down to this obscure city by the name of Nain. I've been running around this church trying to get everybody to understand that words in the Bible have meaning. So in order for me to understand what this passage is all about, I pause to look up the name Nain. Here's what Nain means. It's a city, but Nain means beautiful. Or if you are y'all out there, are pleasant. But what do we have in the text? We have in a beautiful, pleasant city, an ugly situation. In this beautiful, and I need to tell you, I don't care how pleasant your life might appear. Every now and then, ugly situations will arise. And I think if I look at the end of my message, ugly situations will arise because that's how God gets us to tell somebody how powerful he is. You see, sometimes when we look at our blessings, that's not enough because we get so accustomed to God blessing us until we don't even tell anybody about how good God is. But when that ugly situation comes up, I'm trying to get somebody to pray with me. When that ugly situation, I need to ask on the outset, is there anybody in here who seems like everything was just coasting along and out of nowhere? Y'all them buds, I'm going over here. Out of nowhere, an ugly situation just shows up. That's really why I stay in touch with God, because every time I'm just rolling and coasting along, some ugly shows up. When I say everything good now, I'm doing all right. And out of nowhere, some ugly shows up. That's why I don't do that boasting. I tell everybody I'm taking it day by day. Talk to me, somebody. I'm just taking it, Doc, just day by day. Don't get too caught up in talking about how blessed and how highly favored you are, because in the middle of your pleasantness, an ugly situation can show up. Now, what's the ugly situation? There is a lady marching out of a pleasant situation on her way to the cemetery. Early in the passage, we saw that distance is no problem for the Lord. But now we're going to find out that death is no problem for the Lord. And when I got to studying this, I said, man, it's more resurrections in the Bible than I even realized. I dare you to get looking in that Bible, you'll find out that there are a whole lot of resurrections. There are some that are prominent. But there are some resurrections we overlook. Y'all hear me here? Paul was in a church service, and there was a fellow sitting up in the balcony. Got separated from everybody else. That's one of my revival sermons. And some kind of way, while Paul was preaching, he fell asleep. Y'all better watch going to sleep on me. And that boy fell to his death, but Paul raised him up. That's a resurrection, y'all. Are y'all hear me here? And so here we have a resurrection, all kind of resurrections that are in the Bible. And look at how Jesus raised a whole lot of folk up. Huh? And he even raised himself up. I wish I had somebody. We have a clash that's about to happen. There's a clash that's about to happen. Here comes Jesus marching toward town with his disciples. But here comes death marching out of town. It's going to be a clash, y'all. Y'all missed a good place to say amen. Y'all don't even be listening to me. I said it's about to be a clash. Jesus is marching into town with his disciples. And death is marching out of town with a woman's only son. I bet y'all know who's going to win. That leads me to tell you, whatever situation you might be marching to the grave with, there's good news. There's somebody else coming in the other direction. Help me, Lord Jesus. And they meet up at the gate. Now, these cities, Minister Turner, in ancient days were unlike Birmingham. You can come into Birmingham from all directions. You can come in from the west, south, come in from the north. I came in from the east. You can come in Birmingham. But in these ancient cities, they were surrounded by a wall. And they were surrounded by, are y'all praying with me? They were surrounded by a wall for protection. So the only way in the city or out of the city was through the gate. So Jesus and death had to have this confrontation because there was no other way for them to get out nor for Jesus to get in. Help me, Lord Jesus. They're at the gate. And when they get to the gate, there's one crowd with them, crowd with Jesus. They know some stuff. They don't know. We just left Capernaum. I wish I had a church crowd. We just left Capernaum, and there was a centurion. Are y'all listening to me? The centurion comes and says, I got a slave, I got a servant. And this servant has been good to me and has worked faithfully. If you just said a word, he'll be healed. Those men, they were headed into Nain with their heads in the air because Jesus has just healed this centurion servant. And here comes another crowd. Their heads are down. They're traveling. That's how it is in church, and that's what we're going to have in here today. We're going to have a meeting in the middle. Because I got to get some folk who know about the joy of the Lord to go over to somebody whose head is down and let them know that the joy of the Lord is my strength. Are y'all hearing me here? I mean, listen, it's not always well with me, but I got some joy. Pastor, why you want to have joy and things are not well with you? Well, here's what it is. The joy is my strength. Talk to me, somebody. My leg hurting, John, but I still got some joy. I may be broke, but I still have some joy. You may have some situations in your life, but don't let anything steal your joy. Sister Turner, I was talking to Minister Turner. He don't mind me using this. He said, Pastor, let me ask you something. He said, I was down on the south end and guys see me and they almost want to ask me, you still preaching? I wish I had somebody. I said, Minister Turner, see, here's what they want. They want because you resigned from pastoring. They want your head to be down. I wish I had somebody. They want you to be in the dump somewhere, standing in the corner with the lights off, but they saw you with a smile on your face. What they don't know is my joy is not in pastoring. My joy is in the God I serve. Yes, sir. Why don't you look at somebody and tell them I got me some joy. No, sometimes y'all get tired of me. I come in church, I always trying, I'm smiling, I'm laughing, because I'm getting ready to worship a God that can do anything. And I'm not going to come in here with my face all frowned up, and I know that God can handle whatever situation I'm going through. I'm going to have a smile on my face because God is able. So the question is, since you know what you know, have you told anybody? That's the question. Why you keeping it to yourself? So let's see if we can work through here. Got a confrontation going on. Name is beautiful or pleasant. The pleasant situation is turned. There's a lady. She's there at the gate, and Jesus has stopped the funeral procession. Typically, whenever we have a funeral service, y'all know I'm regimented and disciplined. Sometimes I know I get on folk nerves because I have rules that I go by. And I'm sorry. Maybe y'all next pastor act a fool, but y'all got me now. And I have rules. When the family is marching out, I said, listen, if you love me, don't hold me up from going to the cemetery, because my healing is not going to begin until I leave the cemetery. Let me go. Let me go. And then, if it's my family or yours, don't get up here with all that talking. We don't want to stay in here all day. It ain't your mama laying up there. Talk to me, somebody. You're going to keep me in this sorrowful situation 3 or 4 hours while you getting up saying everything you didn't say while they were alive. You preach. They used to sing one of them old church songs. Don't sing it much now. Give me my flowers while I yet live, so that I can smell. I wish I had somebody. Speak kind words to me. Don't wait until I can't hear them to get up in the church. I'm like, he sure was a good pastor. He sure, and I can't hear them. Tell me now. I'm sorry I didn't intend to preach this long. I think those old preachers, Terrence, and I think your granddad and them knew what they were talking about. Hear what they said. They said the word is dynamite. He said, boy, you got to be careful how you fool with dynamite. Because you'll mess around and light a stick and blow up before you know it. And I'm going to tell y'all, I'm close to blowing up in here. So they're there. They're there. They're there. Oh, my goodness. They're there. They're there. They're at the gate. Jesus has stopped the funeral. He has not touched the man, the boy, but he touched the bier. Because if Jesus had touched him, some say he would have been declared clean. But it wasn't just, watch this, y'all, stay with me, I'm trying to teach y'all. See, it wasn't just that Jesus couldn't touch the boy. He was really ceremoniously unclean by touching the casket. Because look at where they are. They are, Minister Jones, going out of the city because they put the cemetery way outside of the city. Because for a Jew, even to touch a grave would declare a person unclean. I wish I had somebody. Because they said we have to bury in a hurry. So they would bathe the body and wrap the body and anoint the body with spices and put him, this text says a casket, but really all they were doing, Brother BJ, is carrying him on slabs of wood. But here's what happened. Jesus, y'all know who he is, don't you? Jesus, rather than what he touched, making him unclean, Jesus touched uncleanliness. I wish I had somebody. And reversed what had happened to the boy. Are y'all hearing me? So there are three things very quick, and we got to go. We got to go because somebody got to eat. Somebody got to eat some sweet peas. The first thing I want to deal with is in verse number 12. I want to say a quick word about a tear stained, little long, a tear stained mother's face. A tear stained mother's face. Now as he approached the gate of the city, a dead man was being carried out. Here's what caused her to cry. The only son of his mother. Oh my God. The only son of his mother. And because he was the only son, make yourself a note under there, there's a crisis that's created. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if the woman had some other sons. And I have, across the years, I've stood and I've watched some people lose their only son. I think the day I came, and I only have one son, and I was talking to a pastor years ago. We were at his son's We were at his son's funeral. He said, E.O., he said, I'm trying to pull myself together, but that's my son. I said, oh, wow. I said, man, I understand. He said, no, you don't. So you got to learn to listen when people try to teach you.
That's right, that's right.
He said, E.O., you have a son, don't you? I said, yeah, my son's a baby at that time. I said, he's a baby. He said, well, I'm going to tell you why I'm so hurt. He said, I have 4 girls, but that's my only son. I said, wow. He said, you want to know why I'm struggling so hard? He said, because my seed died with him. Y'all ain't hear me. He said, my seed died with him and he didn't have any children. Are y'all hear me here? And this woman in their culture, this boy would have had the responsibility. There's some debate as to his age, we're not sure, but he would have had the responsibility of caring for his mother. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we had that culture now, that the boy would care for his mother? I wish I had somebody. I said, my mother was living, she'd be about 93 years old. Man, I'd be proud for my mother to live with me. I wish I had somebody. Did y'all hear what I said? I'd be proud. You know why I take care of her? Watch this. You got to read that Bible carefully. Now watch this. Look at it carefully. Now, watch this. A mother, I should have said this on Mother's Day, but it's just right here in my spirit. When you look at why this woman has a tear-stained face, because here's why the mother is leading the procession.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, y'all, I'm finna shout right here. Here's what that woman said when they were getting the arrangements together. They said, Mother, you want to walk in the back? She said, no. She said, I brought him in.
Yes, sir.
She said, I brought him in, and I'm going to lead him out. I wish I had somebody. She said, I'm crying as I lead him out, but I got to do it. Are y'all hearing me here? So the text said that was a crisis that's created in the text. Are y'all looking at that? But not only in this text is there a crisis that's created here. Look at, it's a crisis. He's her only, stay with me now, he's her only son. But look at it. Look at not only the crisis that's created, Brother Preacher, but look at the corpse that's carried. He's dead. All of the life is gone out of him. Nothing is left. Look at her, y'all. My baby. Are y'all hearing me here? It's something about a mother. Her baby, this her only. Her face is stained with tears. I should have saved this for next Sunday. It would have been too tough on somebody though. Her face is stained with tears. That's the first thing. And we see a crisis that's created, and we see a corpse that's carried. But here's the second thing. Here's the second thing about this tear-stained mother's face. Here's the second thing I want to say. Everybody say the second thing. Let me say a word very quickly about a touch, little long, that stopped a mournful funeral. A touch that stopped Brother BJ or mourn for funeral. Oh my God. And when he saw her, he felt compassion for her and said to her, "Do not weep." And he came up and touched the coffin. Now, two things happened. We got a double whammy. Oh my God. I know we got to go. But she touched Jesus and Jesus touched him. You see, Jesus heard the cry of the heart. Did y'all hear what I just said? Jesus heard the cry of that mother's heart. Help me, somebody. He heard the cry of her heart. Are y'all listening to me? And when he said, "I hear you, mother." I need to tell you, sometimes there are some things you don't even have to say with your mouth. Anybody ever talk to him but didn't open your mouth? Sometimes your heart, help me, Lord Jesus. Sometimes your heart can talk to him. I got to hurry. Here's the first thing that I want you to notice under that touch that stopped a mournful funeral. Let me say a word about a response to a voice. In verse Jesus said, "Young man, I say to you, arise." Let me hurry, I got to hunk this on. Now, this is the same situation we see in John 11. Jesus said, "I'm talking to you. Young man, I say to you." Same situation that happens in John 11. Lazarus. Ain't talking to nobody but Lazarus. Are y'all hearing me here? Did I tell y'all they were on their way to the cemetery? And if Jesus had just said, "I say, arise," I wish I had some Bible students here. Everybody that was in the cemetery at 9 would have got up. But Jesus says right now, this is just a precursor to things that's going to happen on down the road. But right now, I'm just talking to this young man. Young man, I say to you. So I got to do this, y'all. But look, listen, quick. I got to do this quick. The reason Jesus, watch this, talks to the dead man. Because Nain is just right down the street from another little city called Candor. Praise Pastor E.O. Jackson. And in Candor, back in the day, there was a witch who lived there. You can read about the witch of Candor. You read that later. And she purportedly would talk to the dead. Are y'all hearing me here? But really, she was talking to demons. Are y'all hearing me here? Because B.J. Ecclesiastes, your daddy talked about this in the book of Ecclesiastes. It says that the dead know not the things of the living. So those of you who are walking around here talking to somebody that's gone, they can't hear you. I wish I had somebody. But in order for Jesus to show them how much power he had, he said the witch of Candor was getting your money. She was faking, but I'm going to show y'all I'm the real deal. Young man, he didn't say nothing to the funeral attendants. He said, "Young man, I say to you, arise." That was a response to the voice. Y'all know what that boy did? He got up. When I was preparing this, shoot, I know somebody already gonna text me and say you preach too long, but Cynthia, they gonna text you too. When I was working on this, I went through news articles and things of situations where people came back to life. And when I was doing the research, I started reading some of them very humorous. Some people, guy who had a pacemaker died, they zipped him up, put him in the bag, carried him to the funeral home, put him on the table. When they put him on the table, the funeral home attendants went to let the embalmer know, we got one. The embalmer put on his stuff. And the embalmer was talking out loud. You got to know the morticians, they some strange dudes. They be talking. All right, my friend, I'm finna get you ready. I'm gonna have you looking good for your family. But the guy in the bag started kicking. And so the mortician said, let me open up this thing. What? He unzipped the bag. He said, man, what you doing in here? He said, where am I? The guy said, man, I was finna embalm you. He said, embalm me, I ain't dead. He said, well, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to get on out of here. I wish I had somebody. But what happened, his pacemaker had stopped working. And at the funeral home, it cranked back up. Are y'all hearing me here? And so I wish I could have been there when the boy, he sat up and he started talking. Here's what the Bible is silent on, and I'm not going to impose on the text. The Bible does not tell us what he said. Ooh, but my imagination. I hear my seminary professor say, don't do it. My imagination could work with me here. But there's a response to a voice, but there's a reunion in victory. He gave him back to his mama. Ooh, can y'all imagine? Now, I can work with that later a little bit. Because she has paid everybody. She paid them to wrap his body. She paid them to anoint his body with the spices. She paid them to carry his body out. She paid the pallbearers. She paid the mourners. But Jesus gave him back to his mama. I can see that woman saying, y'all gonna get my money back. I wish I had somebody. I can see her going back to those pallbearers and saying, now I'm going to split it with y'all since y'all did carrying. Y'all keep having, give me half back. Going, I wish I had somebody. To those who sold her the perfume, saying, y'all keep having, give me half back because I got my boy back. Now here's the last thing. Y'all got to go. What have we talked about thus far?
Yes, sir.
We talked about a tear-stained face. Then when y'all stay with me now. And then the second thing we talked about was a touch that stopped a mournful funeral. Are y'all hearing me here? Here's the last thing in verse number 17. I want to close by saying a word about the talk that spread his fame. This report concerning him went out all over Judea and all over the surrounding district. Y'all want to know what happened? Everywhere they went, they started telling somebody. I was in Nain the other day, and let me tell y'all what happened while I was in Nain. Something happened. I was just on my way in there, and while I was on my way there, I ran into a funeral procession. Are y'all hearing me? Somebody said, man, don't nobody want to hear nothing about a funeral procession. The fellow said, but that ain't all. So while they were on their way to the graveyard, a man named Jesus. Y'all ain't helping me close this. A man named Jesus came and stopped that funeral procession. Conversation got interesting. They said, well, what did he do? They said, well, he touched the casket. He touched the casket. After he touched the casket, what happened? Man said, well, that boy sat up. Y'all ain't hearing me here. He said that boy sat up and started talking. And Jesus said to them, give him back to his mama. I've stayed up here all of this time to ask you that simple question. Have you told anybody what the Lord has done for you? I don't know who that mother was, that widow there in Nain. I don't know her. The Bible does not tell us what her name is. But I do know one thing about her, that everywhere she went, she had a testimony. When I look around this church right now, I tell you, sometimes it bothers me. Sometimes it deeply disturbs me. When I look at people I know that God has been good to. When I look at people I know that God has worked out some situations in your life, and you sit around looking at somebody worrying about what somebody is going to say about you. When you know if it had not been for the Lord, y'all not talking to me. I'm trying to figure y'all out. I know how to quit right here, but I'm trying to figure y'all out. Because there ought to be somebody in here that can say that the Lord has been good to me. And not only has the Lord been good to me, you ought to say, I'm not ashamed to let everybody know that the Lord has made a way out of no way. We got to serve the Lord something, but is there anybody in here that's not ashamed to stand on your feet and wave your hand and tell everybody that the Lord has made a way for me? You know, we haven't done it in a long time, but I know some people are ashamed to do it. But if you're not ashamed, I want you to just tip out into the aisle. Just make your way out into the aisle. I said make your way out into the aisle. I want you to just turn and look around the room and point at yourself. Don't be scared. Turn around and point at yourself. Y'all so scared. Turn around and just point at yourself. Just point at yourself and tell them, I'm just trying to tell everybody that the Lord is blessing me right now. Anybody in here can say that the Lord is blessing me right now. Well, what has he done? He made a way for me, paid my bills, healed me when I was sick, my lawyer when I was in trouble, my way out of no way, mother when mother was gone, father when father was gone, friends when my friends been funny. Ain't he able? Anybody in here that's not ashamed to take somebody by the hand and testify to them and look them in the face? I want to say, Doc, I know what you've been through, but I got good news. Everybody said good news. I got good news. Tell me he's able. Able. Y'all ain't helping me. Y'all not helping me. Now y'all know I got the worst back in here. I got a bad back. My knee is acting up. But I want y'all to join in with me. Take one hand and put it on your hip and lean back as far as you can and look up to heaven and say, thank you, Lord, for making a way for me. Yeah! Yeah! Ain't he able? Able! I need somebody. Donna, you better come on and get you a mic. Hold on. Michelle, come here. I'd given somebody with a testimony. I was talking to Sister Michelle. Listen, Emmanuel, I was talking to Michelle, and her daughter Courtney had an accident. And she said, Pastor, you didn't get a real good look. She sent me a picture of that truck, and I looked at how it was tore up, and I said, God is able. Michelle said, Pastor, the devil can't have my daughter. Is there anybody in here ever seen the Lord? Won't he make a way? Oh, yeah. Ain't he able? Anybody else on some pray? Anybody else on some pray? Is there anybody in here on him some pray? Praise him! Won't he do it for you, y'all? I said, won't he do it for you? Shake somebody's hand and tell him he did it for me. And if he did it for me, he'll do it for you. Because ain't no secret what the Lord can do. What he did for me, he'll do it for you. Oh, yeah!
Hallelujah. Oh, yes.
You.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
You
Thank you, Lord.
have to
Hallelujah.
tell somebody.
Yes. Yes.
Because
Oh, yes, sir.
when you know what he's
Hallelujah.
done for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Donna, listen, y'all. Listen, I ain't playing, y'all. I got a story.
oh, yes,
And
Lord.
this is my song.
Yes.
That's what Sister Dot Green, Sister Peggy used to say, this is my story, this is my song.
Oh, yes.
And I'm just praising my Savior all the day long.
Blessed assurance.
Said Donna, that's it. That's what I want.
Jesus is mine.
He's mine.
Oh, what a foretaste
Listen.
of glory divine.
Yes.
Heir of salvation.
That's who I am. China, that's what we talked about.
Purchased of God.
He bought me, y'all.
Born of his spirit.
What else?
I am washed in his blood.
Yes.
Perfect submission.
Yes. All
is at rest.
listen.
I am my Savior.
Yes.
I'm happy and I'm blessed.
Yes.
I'm watching and I'm waiting.
Yes.
Looking above.
Yes.
Filled with his goodness.
I'm what?
I'm lost in this love.
Listen at this now.
This is my story.
Yes, I got some else.
This is my
What am
song.
I doing?
Praising my Savior. Oh, the dead Lord.
Yes.
This is my story. This is my soul.
Yes, Lord. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
This is my song.
Yes, yes, yes.
Praising my Savior. All the day long. This is my story. And this is my song, praising my Savior, praising my Savior, praising my Savior, all the day long.
Oh, how I love Jesus.
Oh, how I love Jesus.
That's old church, y'all. Come on, brother. Oh,
Oh, how I love
the door is open. The door is open.
Jesus. Oh, oh, how I love thee,
Why?
Jesus.
Why?
Because he first loved me. Oh,
The door is open. The door is open.
how I love Jesus. Oh,
I love him
how
today.
I love thee.
Anybody else love him
Jesus.
today? Anybody else love him?
Oh, I love Jesus because he first loved me. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus because he first loved me. Oh,
The door is open.
how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus because he first loved me.
Anybody in here? Come on, get in the church.
There is a name I love to hear.
I love.
I love to sing it word.
It sounds.
It sounds like music in my
The sweetest.
The sweetest name I know.
Yes, yes.
Oh, how I love because he first loved me.
My mother them used to say, to me it is so wonderful.
To me, it is so wonderful. For me, it is so wonderful. To me, it is so wonderful.
Know that Jesus is mine.
The sweetest name I know.
Thank you, brothers.
To me, it is so wonderful. To me, it is so wonderful. To me, it is so wonderful. The Lord is mine.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
How I love Jesus.
Yes. Anybody love Jesus today?
Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. He first loved me. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Because first loves me. There is a name I love to hear. I love to sing his word. Oh, it sounds like music in my ear. The name I know. Oh, how I love. Hallelujah. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I Jesus. He loves me. It tells me of a Savior's love who died to set me free. It tells me of his precious blood, the sinner's perfect plea. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Because he first loves me. It tells me of one whose loving heart can feel my deepest woe, who in each sorrows he bears a part that none can below. Oh, how I love Jesus.
If you would like to visit our church, we're located at 2900 Avenue G in Inslee, Alabama. All are welcome.